Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch and Learn Wednesdays, presented by Venture Portland. I'm your host, Jacob Falkenberg. I'm the Communications and Member Services Director at Venture Portland. And today we're going to be talking about different ways that your business and business district can engage with the city of Portland. It's incredibly important for you to know how to advocate for your business and your district when you're facing challenges and crucial things are coming up at City Council. You want to make your voice heard. So we have a couple of special guests today from the city who are going to be talking about their roles, what they've been doing, and what their offices have been doing to support small businesses, and how you can get involved. So our first guest today is Jimmy Radasta from Commissioner Rubio's office. Jimmy is Commissioner Rubio's communications director. Jimmy, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Jacob. Hi, everyone. I am the communications director for Commissioner Rubio. I'm here as a last-minute substitute because Angela Rico, who normally is our liaison to the business community in Prosper Portland, is working on the camping ordinance that is before council today. And so it's a very, very busy day, but I'm really happy to be here. And I have a few quick updates about some of the work that Commissioner Rubio has done on behalf of small businesses. And let me get started with that. So last year, City Council adopted Advance Portland, as you know, the city's inclusive economic growth strategy for the next 5 years. And objective 2 in that strategy calls for equitable wealth building and to relook at how we organize robust supports and reduce barriers for Portland's small businesses. So as part of that work, I'm pleased to share that Commissioner Rubio instructed Prosper Portland to move forward with the formation of an Office of Small Business through the 24-25 fiscal year. The Advanced Portland Implementation Committee has already been weighing in on how that office could develop, but it's worth repeating that Venture Portland will, of course, be at the table in the conversations for that formation. The next immediate step is to secure a needs study that will be contracted by Prosper Portland. And we cannot stress enough how your voices and your input is going to be critical in ensuring that we get this right. And I know that Shay will be contacting Joy to ensure this information sharing takes place. I also know that livability issues and criminal conduct has created a lot of issues for our businesses, and I'm happy to see that Anne is here to share the fantastic work that PMO and the Street Services Coordination Center are doing to work on graffiti, garbage, homelessness, and their work has already shown so much promise, but I will let them talk about that. We have also provided funds in the storm relief program, and it should be no surprise that the amount of need due to the effects of the storm largely outpaced the need. PBEM is working on developing their process now that the federal government through President Biden has approved Oregon's disaster declaration, and I'll have Angela send that out once we have more information. There is a lot that we can do to support our small businesses. And I know that we are working directly with some of you when windows are broken, when you are waiting to hear about your permit. And through this kind of constituent work, we are also ensuring you have a direct line to our office for your concerns. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Angela, and I will put her email in the chat right now. And speaking of permitting, we just also had an exciting announcement today about the name of the new single permitting authority that will go into place under the new government that's coming. And it'll be called Portland Permitting and Development. And I can also put a link to that news story in the chat.
And Jimmy, if you could just kind of give us a little bit of background on the whole permitting piece, because I know this has kind of been in the works for a while, and one of the issues that you've all been hearing about from small businesses and just anybody who's looking to get a permit. What were the challenges that people were facing, and what's kind of the plan moving forward with that new consolidated effort?
Yeah, I mean, with especially the state of housing development being at facing some very challenging market conditions, we wanted to make sure we're doing everything that we have within our power to speed up the process of getting a permit. And we heard from so many folks, especially small businesses, who just needed like a refrigerator or something minor done, and they would have to go to all these different bureaus instead of having one single authority with one technology, one authority that can work out any differences, one set of rules. You know, some bureaus were having sort of written down very specific standards, and others had more just in folks' mind. And so now there'll just be more consistency and efficiency and all the things that will help move folks through that process a lot smoother. And especially with our new consolidated government coming into effect in January, this is a prime opportunity for this. So it's been talked about for decades. There has been a lot of tremendous work that, you know, Commissioners Mapps and Ryan did to sort of clean up our permitting codes and things like that. But we finally got some agreement that this is something we could all move forward on at this time.
That's great. Do you know when the new office is going to officially kind of kick off? Is that going to come with the new city government structure, or before then?
It will be before then. So this is just the first step, announcing the name. And then by July 1st, the Bureau will be all in place and ready to go. So this is just the first step of many.
Great. Jimmy, could you tell us a little bit about the business incentive tax credit that's kind of been expanded? I know Commissioner Rubio has been working on that with Mayor Wheeler. What can businesses kind of expect to see there, or is that still in the works?
My understanding is that it's happening. And it was recently expanded. The boundaries now include the entire central city. But the goal is to provide this incentive so that folks are encouraged to bring their employees back downtown or back in person when possible, and then to renew or to start new leases. So I'm going to put a press release with all the details about that in the chat as well.
Great, thank you. I know businesses will be very curious to hear how that's going to affect them and if they can take advantage of it. And I'll be sending out links to all these press releases too. If you all don't have time to read them now, don't worry about losing those. So Jimmy,
I see a question in the chat about is Angela leaving the new bureau? No, Angela will be staying with our office. We have plenty for her to do. And I don't think they have announced who the leader of the new bureau will be. There's a lot of announcements that are coming soon about, for example, there's going to be deputy city administrators who are going to respond to the new city administrator. And so a few of those announcements have already gone out. So Donnie Oliveira, who's currently the director of the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability, will be the new interim deputy city administrator for the community and economic development portfolio. And so a lot of that will start kicking in July. Or sorry, he comes on board in May, but this is to get ready for July, which is when we'll be testing out this new format before it officially goes into effect in January.
That's great. So do you think the Office of Small Business is going to fall within that economic development portfolio, amongst other things, I'm sure?
Yes, and I'm not clear if it's going to fall under Prosper, which, as you know, is a sort of a quasi-governmental entity, or if it's going to be an official city office. I'm sorry, I don't have that information. I could look into that.
Great, wonderful. So what are some of the other challenges that your office is facing right now, and what plans are kind of in place to tackle them moving forward?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, just wondering what some of the other challenges that your office is facing right now, and what your plans are moving forward to tackle them.
Okay. I would say um, the challenges that our office are facing are the same challenges that everybody is facing. The market conditions that make housing production very difficult. And so we've been pulling every lever possible within our power to speed up housing production and to uh, uh, also just to encourage folks to come back downtown and to reactivate our downtown areas. But also, I know the commissioner cares about every corner of the city. So I believe maybe I met you, Jacob, at when we did the walking tour of Foster Powell around the holidays.
Sure, yeah.
So we're doing as many activities like that to encourage folks to get out and support their small businesses and then permitting reform obviously and climate is a big on everybody's minds of course and so there's some exciting stuff coming to council this week about the new Climate and Sustainability Commission, which will really help make sure that climate is addressed across all city bureaus and in all the work that we do going forward.
That's great. Yeah, I know that's on a lot of people's minds with Earth Day just being 2 days ago. I think people are wondering, what the city is doing to, ensure sustainability and environmental stewardship and how they can get involved. So speaking of getting involved, I think a lot of small businesses are wondering how they can get engaged with what you're all doing, what's going on at the city. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the process for testifying at city council, which I think has been super effective for small businesses in the past, and then some other ways if people don't want to do that or they're not comfortable with that, other ways that small businesses can get involved.
Yes, the importance of civic engagement could not be overstressed. In my previous career as a journalist, I worked for many small businesses, and so we really do believe that small businesses are the heart and soul of Portland. So we want to make sure that you understand exactly just how easy it is to engage with your council and to make sure your voices are heard. Let's see. Volunteer service, first of all, on our many boards and commissions is critical. We oftentimes do not have small businesses at the table because of perceived issues related to scheduling, but we want you to know that if you're interested in being a volunteer for a board or commission, the staff will make accommodations as much as they can to work with your availability. And that as I said earlier, Angela couldn't be here today because of a major vote that we have on the camping ban, but she wanted me to assure you all that who are considering serving on our public and community safety commissions and boards that your voice is truly needed, and she will share applications with all those who are interested. I'm also happy to share how to testify at city council, tips on effective and testimony. But to start, be sure to look at the council agenda, which is posted every Friday. I'm going to put the link in the chat for items that are going to be heard the following Wednesday and Thursday. And that's how you can really stay up on what's at the council. So I would bookmark what I just shared there. You can also sign up for the first portion of the agenda, which is called communications. And that's where there's 5 folks who are given 3 minutes each. And during that time, you can testify about any topic that you would like the council to hear about. And all the slots through January are booked up, but here is some information about how you can sign up. Starting May 1st, I think, is when the July slots will open up. And I'm happy to answer any other questions as well.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions or experience testifying at city council? I know prior to the pandemic, a lot of business districts were kind of organizing groups of business owners to come into city council and talk about, some of the struggles they're facing, and just ways that they could possibly work with city council on kind of alleviating some of those. Um, so if anybody has any experience doing that, that would be great. But Jimmy, in the meantime, if you could just give us some tips on, what people should be kind of talking about. Oh, it looks like Bridget has something to share.
My hand signals weren't recognized. Sorry, I missed the sign up time again. Did you say Wednesday for the next Tuesday? What, Friday? What was it? You
Yeah,
have to
so
sign up by?
Friday is when the council agenda is posted for the next Wednesday/Thursday. In addition, separately from that, if you want to sign up for one of those coveted 5 3-minute communications spots, that's the most recent link that I put in the chat. And those book up quickly. So right now, all of January is already taken, or sorry, all of June is already taken.
January.
I meant June. Yeah, all of June is already taken. And so if you click that link, you'll see that starting May 1st, they'll start taking signups for July.
Thank you.
You bet.
And Jimmy, when you are presenting it at city council, you only have a very short period of time to kind of speak about, what's going on. I wonder, what information is most important for the city council to hear from someone who's testifying? What should they kind of focus their time and attention on?
One, I know that you both can direct your comments at specific commissioners that you really are trying to maybe win them over to whatever your argument is. But you could also direct your comments at the general public, because this will now be permanently in the public record. So I think just thinking about who your audience is really important. And then doing as much advanced work as possible, like utilizing those 3 minutes, but also in advance of that, it's really helpful if you can reach out to the impacted bureaus so that you can at least say with some authority, like that you're not just springing this on everybody in a public forum, but that you have done, your due diligence to reach out to the folks in positions to make those decisions happen. But yeah, I hope that's helpful information.
No, that's great. I think a lot of folks don't even realize, going to the bureaus first to see if that can form a resolution, or even just, give them some more information, doing your research first before coming to council with a specific ask, because that might not even be a necessary step if the specific bureau can provide assistance. But letting them know that if they cannot provide assistance, you've kind of covered those bases already, and like you said, done your due diligence. So that's really helpful, I think, as people are preparing the remarks, not only being clear about, who your business is, what's the specific problem, what's the specific ask that you have, what do you want help from the city doing? I think that's pretty helpful too. Okay, great. Thank you, Jimmy. Anything else to share at the moment about things going on in Commissioner Rubio's office or plans for the future? Okay. So we'll leave time for questions at the end, but for now, we're going to move on to Ann Hill, who is the Deputy Director of the Public Environment Management Office, also known as PEMO. Ann's been doing some fantastic work in business districts all over the city, and she's here to kind of talk about that work and how your district can get involved. So without further ado, hi, Ann. Thanks for being here.
Sorry, yeah, I'm in like 3 meetings. Anyway, I got myself to a better connectivity area. My apologies for that.
No problem.
And thank you, Kathy. I did hear that. I did want to know, because I recognized a lot of names and I want to make sure that I don't just repeat. I was hoping we could just quickly do introductions, and if anyone's participated on a problem solver meeting and what your experience was. So thank you, Kathy. I got to hear Kathy there.
Okay, well, I'll just call on people and we'll move
Sure,
down the
thank
line
you.
based on what's on my in the order of who I see people.
Perfect.
Dan is first in my list. Hey, Dan.
Hi there, Dan Wolkowski from Hillsdale, and hi, Ann. And
Hi.
we're pretty active out of Hillsdale. I have attended a few problem solver meetings. We're even getting the word out to more businesses in the area, but we like it's a very action-oriented meeting. So you come to report something, to communicate something. It's impressive to see the involvement of the city officials, and that's been one feedback that we've received from the people who have attended. And so it's a very action-oriented meeting, and they do a great job of explaining what can be done, and we just continue to work to improve the communication across the business district.
Great, thanks, Dan. Up next is Jeff.
Hi, everybody. Jeff here from Foster area. I've been meeting with PMO, representing the Foster Area Business Association and you might need to correct me here, but I'm thinking better part of a year and a half, every 2 weeks. So echoing what Kathy said, they were instrumental in getting street tree lighting, which has been really nice. But I would say, in addition to that, navigating through the different bureaus and sort of streamlining the process for getting resources where we need them. So, sometimes figuring out if you need Bureau of Development Service to help you out with something, is it PBOT? But whether it's graffiti cleanup, trash removal, help sort of managing sort of the response to the campsites, I feel like as an individual, that process can be a little bit overwhelming. And so navigating the process, or even, getting bumped to the top of the list because they can see where the priority is. And not that we're cutting lines, but what may go through the traditional queue system, if we can sort of convey a sense of urgency, they see that, and helping us bring some of those services together has been really helpful, especially when it comes time to prepare for events that we've had in the district. And last year we had our first ever Foster Summer Soiree, and we needed help getting the park cleaned up and the sidewalks cleaned up and all that stuff. And Ann and her team really made that happen quickly. So much appreciation there.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, next we have Bridget.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I've participated with PMO now for at least a year, probably longer with Sam earlier, but the 2-week phone calls have just been fantastic. Ann and Elizabeth O'Malley is your second, I think. Huge issue that we had on Bridgeton. It's a small business community. We don't have a group with Venture Portland, but very influential in our little area. People were driving on the levee on the river, like not on a road, just on the, yeah. And so it involved Multnomah County, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, private property owners, businesses, a couple of districts. I mean, it was remarkable how these guys helped pull people together, and just by having their name on it, how people showed up for a Zoom meeting. And we did that outside, of course, of the PMO meetings, which are super fast. You got to report quick, and they're 30 minutes, but you have representatives, police, fire if you want, but all transportations, usually ODOT and PDOT. It's just fantastic. It's a really good job that they've been doing, and great to be part of it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Bridget. Up next we have Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hello. So
Laura.
hi. So I've been attending 2 problem solver meetings. The one Lance Montevilla, and then Hazelwood, because we're kind of neighbors with both of those. And about 2 weeks ago, Anne and Elizabeth and I went out into the Midway district in some of our problem areas. And it was great to go in to talk to some of the business owners together and say, this is PIMO, this is what we do. The problem solver meetings that I attend do this. We see the graffiti, we're going to help you take care of it. Here's your part and here's our part, and identifying areas that could use a mural. And Midway sort of started a platform, Arts in Midway, and I think being able to go out and telling the business owners, this is what we're talking about when we talk about Arts in Midway, and how we could beautify your space so that people want to come into your businesses to see what services you have. And one of the business owners that has been around since the 80s is Original Steer, was very excited about what he sees, gave us a little history of the area, what his issues are now, what he needs help with. And I think that he sees us as a partner, as did some of the other businesses that we went in and talked to. And thank you, Anne and Elizabeth, because they both bought stuff. So our definitely our merchants were very excited about that, because they did see that buy-in, that, you know, when I go in and I talk to them and say, this is what we're doing, that they really see it happening now, that they do have an advocate when they have issues, the homeless camps, the trash, the graffiti, that there is, you know, now a name with a face. And that, you know, when we talk about Arts in Midway, it isn't just having art out there, that there's a purpose for it. And so thank you to PIMO for coming out and doing a walk with me.
I learned about rats, everything I ever needed to know about rats to help you with that situation. Yeah.
That's it. Me too. It's like, I didn't know that there was a vector control, and that's what they had. And, you know, he's been great. And, you know, he's a great communicator. He'll call me and say, yep, we were out there. We took some pictures. And so I think that the merchant that's having those issues is very happy that he sees that we are out there and sees PIMO out there too. So it just adds credibility to what we do. And so we're going through a membership drive, and I think that that's really going to be something that I can say, you know, we are, you know, vested in helping you grow.
Thanks, Laura. Glad to
Mhm.
hear that you're able to take advantage of that and get some help. Up next is Nana. Hi, Nana.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi, Anne. Good to see you
Hi,
again.
Nana.
I obviously oversee the CIA program, so all the district
Right.
managers get the joy of attending the bi-monthly meetings and then doing the kind of the boots on the ground. And I've heard nothing but just great reports and so much progress and activity and change that's been happening in all of the districts, especially with the tree lighting. There's been a lot of success there. And I don't want to talk about the districts. I know Bless is on here, so he'll talk about his district, but just don't want to reiterate what Jeff and Laura have said. And also in the St. John's districts, there's been a lot of great activity, and just moving the abandoned cars, just the graffiti, all of the things. I mean, there's just been great upkeep and great updates that have been happening. And so it's like, it's reported, and then you see the solution has happened and there's been a resolution. So nothing but great things. And we're so grateful for the PIMO program. It's been awesome. So Anne, you're amazing. And I don't know if Elizabeth's on here, but I know she does a lot of great work too.
Yeah. Thanks, Nana. We love the
Mhm.
district managers.
They're fantastic. They do a lot of good work.
They do. They do great work.
Thanks, Nana. Okay, up next we have Daniela. Daniela, you there?
I am here. I'm trying to get my camera to work. There it is. So Daniela, I'm from the NIVA, Northwest Industrial Business Association. And I think so far I'm the only one that they haven't worked with PIMO. So
That's great though, because we're going to get you plugged in.
oh yeah, no, I was like, I have been looking your website and everything, how to how
Yep.
to get involved. So yeah, you will be hearing from me.
Perfect. We've got, I'll check in with you offline because we have 15 meetings across the city. So depending on where you represent, we'll plug you into, the ones that are appropriate.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniela. Up next is Blessed with the Williams District. Hey, Blessed.
Hi. I for one just want to reiterate what everybody's saying. It's been amazing, this tree lighting and everything. I think that we've had a really interesting situation because we have, excuse me, we have a very thorny issue that we've been working on for well over a year that is just not going away. But the thing that I would say about it to me that's been really interesting is how everyone is able to come together, all the key players through PIMO, so the city agencies, all the nonprofits in the area, a bunch of the neighbors, to just really brainstorm and try different things and just keep throwing different ideas at this issue. And it is getting somewhat better, and it's definitely a work in progress, but it's the first time I've seen this sort of level of work coming together to make something happen. And I think that that's the really impressive thing that PIMO brings to the table.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I will say, Blessed, I know we're not done with everybody, but I will say that keep your eye out. We are not exactly how the problem solver, of course, meetings were envisioned. So I think we're going to keep the Stanton as like a sub-district, and we are going to actually launch a Northeast.
Yeah.
So that we can really dig into Williams, Alberta, Killingsworth, the Greater Woodlawn, and Boise. So Elliot will participate, and then we'll keep that one, and you can choose if you want to go to both, so that we can really sort of dig in on some other issues. Yeah.
Cool.
So be
cool.
looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks, Blessed. And next is Tanya with St. John's. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, I have nothing more to say than what everybody else said. So
Yeah.
we love you. And it's Tanya with St. John's District.
Okay, short and sweet. Love it. And finally, Amy is here. Amy, is there anything you'd like to share?
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I don't have anything else to share. Hi, Anne. It's
Hi,
great to hear
Amy.
that things are going so well, though. I know that it's the businesses and the business districts have gone through so many challenges over the last few years. So it's so nice to see this progress being made and just the positive vibes. So great to hear.
Great. Thanks for
Thanks,
being
Jacob.
here, Amy. So yeah, nothing but positive
Yeah.
things to say. And I think you're doing a great job. Yeah, what's coming down the pipeline with you all?
Right. So I didn't do that. My purpose for that was not just to get the, positive PSA for PIMO, but just as I sort of my comment share, I just wanted to make sure that I tailored it appropriately. I would say that I think a few things to remember, like I think what's unique about PIMO and our success is, as I said, I've worked for the city for, 15 to 20 years. This is the first time my job is to listen. I am not moving bioswales. I am not protecting trees. I am not trying to put in bike lanes. I am not working in a TIF district, right? My job is to hear your issues, figure out how to solve them internally, right? And so I think just that's the secret sauce to why there is success. So do we struggle? Absolutely. Blessed, we struggle. Blessed has watched that sort of on a situation we're dealing with on Northeast Stanton across from Dawson Park. But what I like to say is I take the issues internally to the family table, that is the city bureaucracy, and we work the problem and come back with a solution. You all do not need to hear that, right? You don't need to hear who's got money, who doesn't have money, is it a priority? You just want a solution, right? And so I think that's been part of that success. So from other, is the one group where you are not coming to me as a volunteer, you are coming to get a problem solved, right? And I think that's the dynamic. So with the district managers, I think what the district managers saw early on, specifically Kathy, Tanya, Jeff, just because you've been around the longest, is that you can come to this one meeting for 30 minutes with your punch list of issues and knock them off at once. And so it's a service almost to you, so that you can then spend the other hours of your day doing the other activities and duties and responsibilities you have as a district manager. Thing I would offer, so like Bridget was talking, there are many, many areas of the city that either don't belong to Venture Portland because they don't have an organized business district, or sort of like Bridgeton, there's not enough businesses per se. And I think we've also seen that this is a place where they can come with their issues. We've actually helped facilitate resurrecting business districts, which has been successful. And I would say the other issue, which might be something for Joy and Nana and others just to think through, one of my aha moments, right? Been in the city a long time, never thought about this. I think a lot of the disconnects when we think about our major corridors tend to be divided by up to sometimes 8 or 9 neighborhood associations, and the corridor itself, Sandy, Broadway, Lombard, William, MLK, happen to be one side is one business neighborhood, one's the other. So they never continuously have anyone looking at those stretches, right? Unless you're, lucky enough to have a study done. And that's really where we've been spending time. If you think about Sandy outside of Hollywood, there's no representation. So I think that's really where the problem solver meetings have also ended up being places where we are the catchment. When it comes to Venture and Prosper, we do list always resources, so grants. We've gotten better at saying, of course, be a member of Venture to, I think, apply for some of those grant opportunities. But, so we see a way that we can just continually connect folks. I would say we do go out and we solve problems for specific property owners. We also go out and, like we did with Laura, just really get a lay of the land. What is 122nd? I was amazed at how many people were biking on 122nd on a Thursday afternoon. That was great to see. And we began talking about how the way that we look at activating sidewalks or streets doesn't play out in East Portland the same way. And we were specifically looking at some of those small sort of strip malls where there might be, like, there was one strip mall that Laura took us to where there was a bunch of businesses. That there was one business that did like custom embroidery for a lowrider business, which was next door to a barbershop. And there was a food truck, and it was like, oh, what could we do for the community that hangs out here every Saturday, which was different from the Iraqi business bakery we went to and the businesses around there. So we were thinking there about how could we sort of turn the right-of-way sidewalk street plaza on its head and actually do it on some of these more private properties. So that's sort of where we then work with the Jeffs and with Tanya or with Laura on what you're working to do to further activate your business districts and your memberships. I don't know. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything you'd like to see PMO do that we don't do. Things you'd like to change. It'd be great to hear if people have questions.
Yeah, well, we are recording the meeting, so there might be someone who watches this who's not already involved with PMO. So I guess they're probably wondering, how do they get involved? How do they get signed up? When do you meet? What does that all look like? What's the process for participating?
So the participation, the best thing to do is to email us at portlandoregon.gov. And we will then be able to plug you into the meeting that is for your area, right? So that's, they're not, the reason that we don't just have these public meetings broadcasted on sort of, or listed on a website is because they're 30 minutes and they really are geared towards the punch list of issues. it's not sort of the space for people to just sit and observe necessarily, or come with an issue that might be more of a neighborhood issue, right? Or maybe an issue that we need to direct them to the state. So that's why we like to just filter a little bit, most importantly, so we can get the person what they need. And sometimes sitting in the PMO meeting isn't going to solve the problem. So I know, for example, that Bridget, the reason she shows up, and she doesn't come every 2 weeks, the reason Bridget comes to the PMO meeting is a completely different reason than she would go to her neighborhood association meeting for, right? And so I think that's why. So the best thing to do to answer your question is to email PEMO at portlandoregon.gov. And we check that every day. And we will get folks hooked up immediately to specific, like exactly what they need.
That's great. Yeah, and thank you for making that distinction between neighborhood association and what PMO does, because they're two very separate things. And if someone has a specific issue that's better fit for the neighborhood association, you point them in the right direction.
Right. And I would also actually say that also for the business side of things, right? We don't do business plans. I don't do performas. We don't do, like how to lease property, right? So there's a whole list of things that a business might need that is also not necessarily why you would come to PMO. But we can, hopefully hook them up to the correct, right, to the resource or the organization. And so, we are, if you think about a pie, we are a specific slice of the pie. I would say that moving forward, this, a lot of people have talked about how this is sort of business moving forward, right? The way the new city, what we just heard about the new model, the city and the city structure, the problem solver meetings, we do have them. The boundaries are actually neighborhood association boundaries just because it's easier. And we have them clustered by the new districts. So we will be reporting up by districts in terms of what we're working on, what we're hearing. We talk to the police in each of those areas. They attend all these meetings because it's their number one resource. They see them very helpful. So, and as people have talked about Elizabeth, we have 4 staff or 3 staff that actually staff these. So we will have the same staff person per district, right? So all of East Portland is Elizabeth O'Malley, North Portland is Elizabeth, and then the central part is Marguerite, and then I do most of the west side. So so we are actually already set up kind of by that district model as well.
That's great. Hopefully people can get involved if they haven't already and continue to stay engaged. We're running towards the end of our time. Does anybody have any questions for either Ann or Jimmy, or any comments they want to share about either PMO or the work that Commissioner Rubio's office has been doing with permitting and the business incentive tax credit? Anything you'd like to share?
I just like to quickly add another great initiative that PMO is working on, and that's the Near Me Now app, which is the sidewalk clings are all over downtown. You may have noticed them, and by scanning the QR code on the sidewalk cling, it takes you to a link to download the app, and the goal is to promote foot traffic and economic activity throughout the central city. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to that project as well. Really exciting stuff.
That's really a great idea. I'm wondering, can businesses contact your office or Travel Portland to kind of make sure that they're listed in that app, or how do they participate in that?
I would start with PMO, but I'll also put my contact information in the chat just in case, and get people to the right place.
Thank you. Yeah, seems like it's a relatively new initiative, but a good way to kind of help with foot traffic and pointing people in the right direction. Yes, Bridget.
more question. I don't know if it's going to ever be quick, but I wonder if there's any consideration in bringing city, county, state, and federal employees back to work so that there's more people working downtown. It seems kind of weird to spend money to bring outsiders when kind of the biggest employer really is government in the downtown, isn't it?
I think that's a great question, and I wish I had an answer to it.
Okay.
That's way above my my position, but I think anything that gets people back downtown is really essential. But I also know that given that that they're sort of a new dynamic now with hybrid work environments, and so I don't have anything further other than that city employees are required to be downtown or to be at their office 20 hours a week, but I don't know if that's going to change.
And I advocate for downtowns all over Portland. I always have. I love the business districts that we have, and that's why I've been part of Venture Portland most of my life here. And so maybe the Hear Me Now app could not be focused just on downtown. Maybe it could be in each of the business districts as well. Expand a bit.
Yeah, that would be great if any district could sign up to participate and get sidewalk clings for their district. I think anything that helps someone who's unfamiliar with the area find new businesses, I think that's going to be much appreciated by businesses all over the city.
They're working at home, so why not go to the local coffee shop at home, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, if
Thank you very much.
home, you're supporting the businesses in your neighborhood, in your business district. So definitely want to make sure that we're supporting everybody. Yeah, Daniela.
So my comment is a little different because Neva, one of the things we are doing is because we are going to have the Multnomah County election in May and the district, the city elections in November. We're inviting candidates to come to our meetings so we can meet them and talk with them, because it's a way that we can make sure that we are electing the right people from our areas. So yeah, if anybody want to come to meet the Multnomah County District 1 candidates in May, or the District 4 City of Portland candidates, we have the meeting in June. And if people are interested, I can send you the flyers for those meetings. Because I think it's and I'm surprised they respond that people actually want to be in those meetings. They want to know all of them, but some of them they're coming, so it's good to get to know who is in the elections.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's super important for candidates to connect with small businesses, hear what their concerns are, and potentially gain an endorsement from it. So I think that's great what NEVA is doing, and yeah, other districts. If you want to follow suit, Daniela, I'm sure, would be happy to kind of share her experience organizing some of these.
I was going to say, thank you, that if, because it has been interesting reaching out and talking with people. So if anybody want to do the same, let me know and I'm happy to help. Oh, and the Columbia Corridor, actually, they are hosting in September, they are hosting the mayor candidates. So another way to meet some of the candidates.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. We'll be certain to save the date for those meet and greets.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are nearing the end of our time. Any last minute questions for Jimmy before we say goodbye for the day? Okay. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you to Jimmy and Ann for taking the time out of their busy schedules to speak with us today. And I'll be following up with some of the information that was discussed and some contact information if you would like to get involved. So certainly feel free to reach out if you need anything else. Otherwise, have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.